Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Parfums Vintage. We're going to touch upon their brand new release that they actually sent me. It's called Pineapple Vintage Intense. Now, as I mentioned, they sent me this fragrance. So this fragrance I got completely free. Now, with that, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this review is going to be much different than my other reviews. So it's going to have a lot more commentary and it's not going to follow the same format. So just keep that in mind as you're kind of going through. The second note is, the giveaway. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. Anyways, the second note is a giveaway. I am giving away samples of this fragrance, which is part of what they sent me to give away with it, and that is these three samples, which, by the way, I really love the fact that the samples that they included are these actual big samples. I like these as opposed to that 5 milliliter crap that companies send around. So this is mucho positive on them, on the company. So with that, let's just go ahead and get into the actual fragrance itself. So this is the fragrance. This is Parfums Vintage Intense. Now, if you know and if you have other Pineapple Vintage bottles, let me first comment on the actual appearance. I have a problem with this appearance. This is Pineapple Vintage Intense. Get a good look. This is Pineapple Vintage EDT. See that? And this is Pineapple Vintage Eau de Parfum, or the EDP version. All of them are the same. No. That is a big no-no in my book. And that drives me absolutely insane. That means either the production value is so low that they couldn't afford to change up the bottles or change up some appearance on the bottles, or they're just really trying to save money by pawning off the same bottle. Personally, I don't know about you guys, but I look into my fragrance collection and I can immediately tell what each fragrance is. Happens all the time, and it's just something, it's a very easy way to identify a fragrance. I look in my cooler, I look in something, I can tell immediately which fragrance I have. I don't like the fact that all three of these look the same, and in order to tell the difference between them, I need to pick up the bottle, look at the bottom, which is the only way to tell the difference between them. This one now, rather than, it looks like they even tried to save money on the sticker. It's just got this clear plastic sticker that says Pineapple Vintage Intense. Whereas the older versions had the white stripe label. This one is the EDT, and this one is the EDP, right? It's just annoying in my head that it came to this. It should not, if these are three separate fragrances, they should not be the same bottle. But, a little bit of devil's advocate, because as we go on to the actual scent, I think this is a great smelling scent. This is a great smelling scent that is definitely a clone of Aventus in some shape or form. It doesn't smell as good as Aventus, but it smells pretty freaking good. And for the price that it actually sells for, which is now about $85, it is well worth its price for that. Let me pause for a second. This is Pineapple Vintage Intense. This smells exactly like the EDT. Like this. I was at it for a couple of days now where I was spraying myself and I was trying really hard to find a difference, and I could not find a difference between the two. I had other people come and smell these two. I sprayed it on them, came back to them 5 hours later, same thing. They thought it was the same fragrance. I cannot tell the difference between these two. Maybe I got a version that is the same. Maybe I accidentally got switched to this version of a bottle. I don't know. It is, as far as performance goes, it's the same. As far as smell goes, it's the same. And if you look at the description, which brings me to my next gripe, for Pineapple Vintage Intense, it is marketed as, and you look at the notes, it's the same notes, with the exception of one note, it's the same notes. And the other notes are simply enhanced, it says, in order to create a longer lasting and stronger smelling fragrance, right? So they were upping the power of this fragrance. That's not a new fragrance to me. That is no reason to go ahead and market it as this is the intense version of a fragrance. It's a reformulation. That's all you did. All you did was really amp up the strength of the same notes and then put it in a bottle and said, this is the up version. Even though I cannot tell the difference between the two, I don't get any difference of a performance between the two, but To me, that's the same fragrance. Maybe it's because there have been a lot of people who complain about reformulations about particular fragrances, and I can see that. Maybe that's why the company went this way and decided to release a fragrance that's basically identical to the original EDT and say this is the Intense and tried to amp up the notes. That is my best guess of what happened. I don't think it worked. It did not, this does not last much longer than that, than the EDT version. It doesn't project farther. It doesn't smell any different. It's basically like the same fragrance in a bottle. Which leads me to my recommendations. Remember, I said this is a good fragrance, and I still stand by that it is a good fragrance. But is it any different than the EDT? No. If you have the EDT, there is no sense in going out and buying this. And I think that's what they were going for, but, I'm just speculating here. I have no idea. Free to let them comment, whatever the case may be. But, yeah, if you have the EDT, I don't see any reason why you should buy this Intense version. It's the same. If you don't have the EDT, by all means, go ahead. And in some cases, too, I would argue, yes, this smells different, the Parfum version. It smells just slightly different, but sometimes I would, depending on the person, it may smell close enough that you may not even have to buy this. So what I'm trying to say is, you may be fine with just one version of these pineapple vintages that they have, to the Parfum, the EDT, and the Intense version. As far as ratings goes, I'm going to give it the same rating as I did the original EDT, or Pineapple Vintage EDT. Personally, I still like the EDP because this does smell slightly different to me, but these two do not smell any different at all. And by these two, I mean the EDT and the Intense version. They do not smell any different at all. So that's why, sorry, it's a little bit different than what I normally talk about and how my reviews normally are, but it had to be said. And again, I am running a giveaway for these three. These are 3 samples that they sent. They're quality samples. I really do like the fact that they sent them with these big sizes. And essentially, in order to be eligible for the giveaway, all you have to do is comment down below on the video. That's it. And you will be entered in, and I will choose a random winner in the future. All right? So that's pretty much it. Let me know what your thoughts are on Pineapple Vintage. If you tried this extreme version, which I'm not sure most of you have, just because I just got this fragrance last week, and I know it's available on the site, but some people may not have gone out and gotten it yet. So if you've tried this version, let me know what your thoughts are on it. If you tried the other ones, feel free to leave your notes down below as well too. I'm always curious. All right, guys? Okay, guys? Thank you, guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.